Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel English Literature 101. The topic for today is a poem titled The Schoolboy, prescribed in Cbse for class 8 in the book named Honeydew. Before going into the detailed explanation of the poem, let us know something about the poet. The poet of this poem is William Blake. William Blake was an English poet, painter, and printmaker. His poetry have been characterized as part of the Romantic movement. Some of his notable works are Songs of Innocence and Experience, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, The Four Zoas, Jerusalem, etc. So without any further delay, let's begin with the poem. The Schoolboy. This poem, The Schoolboy, is written by William Blake from the perspective of a young boy who doesn't like to go to school. This piece is included in Blake's work called The Songs of Innocence. When we read the poem, we find that in the poem the boy gives various reasons for not going to school and stating that he hates going to school. But underneath this simple poem lies a very important theme. Now, what is the theme? What is that important thing which the poet tells in this poem? Let me tell you. This is a pastoral poem that focuses on the problems present in formal learning. Now, what is formal learning? Formal learning, we know, is the education that is delivered by trained teachers in a systematic way within a school, college, or university. So, the boy in this poem hates going to school, or we can say hates formal learning. He feels that he would be better educated by the natural world. He states that the formal system of education is negatively impacting him. So, in this poem, the poet emphasizes or is in favor of that education which a person acquires from the natural world. Because during those times when this poem was written, people preferred education or being educated by the nature or natural world, which held great importance for them. So, without any further delay, let's begin with the poem. I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree. The distant huntsman winds his horn and the skylark sings with me. Oh, what sweet company! In this stanza, the poet introduces us with the main character of the poem, that is the schoolboy. In these lines, the schoolboy speaks about the things that he loves. He says that it is the time when birds sing on the tree, the huntsman blows horn, making his way towards hunting, and he likes the beautiful melodious song sung by the skylark. According to the boy, this morning time is the best. It is this time when he is happiest, as he desires this sort of companies. But to go to school in a summer morn? Oh, it drives all joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in sighing and dismay. In this stanza, we find that the tone of the schoolboy completely changes. From delight and happiness, he starts feeling sad and is filled with dismay and joylessness. He expresses his feelings that going to school in summer morning is what he hates because he is forced to leave his peaceful environment and he considers himself unhappy. He feels that in school, the students have to spend all their day under a cruel eye, that is, teacher, who keeps eye on the schoolboys, so that they follow all rules and regulations strictly. Thus, according to him, he as well as all his friends have to spend their day in sadness and distress in school, as they are kept under strict surveillance. Then at times I drooping sit, and spend many an anxious hour, nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's bower, worn through with the dreary shower. In this stanza, the schoolboy continues telling more about his miserable days at school. He says that he sits drooping or hunched over in his seat. He finds no interest or pleasure in schoolwork, nor he takes any delight or interest in his book. He anxiously keeps on waiting for the day to end and go back home. And he even dislikes sitting in learner's bower, which is worn through dreary shower. Now here we need to understand this phrase, that is, learning bower worn through with the dreary shower. Bower means a shady place under the tree, and by learner's bower we mean a place under the tree where someone comes to learn. So it basically talks about a school or institution, right? So as for the schoolboy, this learner's bower, which is the school, is damaged or is defective. Now, how is the school defective? It is defective because of the dreary shower, which is heavy rain and which is indeed disastrous. So, in a way, the schoolboy says that the school system of education is damaged or defective and he hates going to school. So, from the last three stanzas, we can very well understand that the boy says that he cannot learn well under restriction. He needs freedom, joy, and love. Forceful learning does not serve the basic purpose of education. How can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child, when fears annoy, but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? In this stanza, the boy asks various questions. First question that he asks is, how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? Here he compares himself to a bird and considers school as a cage, where he is forced to learn, read and write, and thus he loses his joy as he is restricted. His freedom is snatched away from him. Secondly, he asks, how can a child, when fears annoy, but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? Here he says that when a child is kept under such scary restriction by the teachers in a school, how can they learn and grow freely? Instead, they just remain sad and longs for freedom. These schoolboys are just missing out on the joys of being a child under such restrictions. O father and mother, if buds are nipped and blossoms blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay, how shall the summer arise in joy or the summer fruits appear? In this stanza, the boy addresses his parents. He uses the image of a plant. He says that if the bud of a flower is cut or thrown away, then how can we expect it to bear fruits and flowers in the summer season or near future? Similarly, young child is just like a young plant, which is tender and vulnerable. The way a plant is treated at a younger stage shows whether the plant would have the capacity to bear fruit in the near future or not. Similarly, if a child at a young stage is treated well, then he or she is sure to blossom in the near future. But if he or she is not treated well, then he or she won't flourish in the coming future. So in case of a child, joy, freedom of imagination, happiness are all necessary to live well and survive the inevitable griefs of life. So, in a nutshell, we can say that according to William Blake, school children are like birds. They are like flowers, both tender and vulnerable to the way in which they are treated. All of them needs freedom for efficient growth. If their freedom is taken away from them, then they will fail to prosper and hence will be unable to serve the society. Thus, love, freedom, and nature are the essential things for their proper education and growth. Here I have provided you with a list of words which would make the understanding of the poem better. So guys, that's all for today's video. I hope you all have understood the poem well. If you have any queries related to the poem, do let me know in the comment section below. And please don't forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. And those who haven't subscribed my channel yet, I would request them to please like, subscribe and share it. And don't forget to hit the bell icon for further updates. Thank you.